It's on. It's on like Donkey Kong. You can't say that.
Donkey Kong.
You can't say it. Nintendo.
Oh no, that's right. You can't. Oh no, not anymore. I went to Walmart and I saw it was on a shirt, and I had to check if the Nintendo logo was inside the collar, and it was, so it's okay.
Really? Was it?
I don't know. I just saw it on a shirt.
Okay.
I wasn't sure if they breached copyright. Is this still part of the podcast right now?
No.
No, it's. What if it was? What if that? What if this is?
It could have been. I don't know.
It's still like it's on like Donkey Kong. That's a good intro. I mean,
it is. Ooh, welcome back to the Greasy Gamers podcast. We are
Greasy Gaming.
Yeah, Greasy Gaming with your hosts, us.
Yeah, me, Retrowise,
and me, Gamer Dave.
No, you gotta say your actual handle.
Dave Pretendo.
Dave Pretend. What a stupid fucking handle.
We have good names.
Yeah. Retrowise.
I don't think I asked you. No, this is a good start. It's Retrowise, like, oh, my wise video game enthusiast.
I guess I don't usually talk about too much, but yeah, it's a good time. Okay, so Retrowise, where that name came from is essentially my username was Wise, and I stole that from my older brother.
Oh, really?
He had an account that was called Wise, and that was like that was just like his thing, and it's based off of a. This is true. It's based off of a Canadian rock rap group, an underground rock rap group, and they're called Project Wise with the same spelling.
Oh shit! So
if you look up Project Wise, that's what it's based off of. And eventually, I ended up taking my brother's Steam account, and I just kind of took the name, and that's why I became Wise. And the cube was originally his, that Wise cube, if you've ever seen it.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
That was his, and there it is, right there it is, and then I made it purple. There it is. Anyways,
epic.
I made it, but then I decided that I liked watching speedruns and streams, and I'm like, well, why don't I do it? I'm like, what would I stream? I'm like, oh, do you know what would be cool? If I did only retro games, and that was it. I was like, I'm only gonna do retro games, and it's funny is I have a lot of my original Retrowise stream like stuff in a folder somewhere. So like I use like sprites from like NES games.
Wait. What?
Yeah.
As what? As like the.
That's like a part of the overlays and stuff. Like.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I did like. It was cool. I made a big thing out of it. I mean, I didn't really stream at all, and it was just. I'm not sure why, but yeah, that's how it came about. Retrowise name. It's essentially just Wise combined with me being like, I like retro game, and then I just. But what about Dave Pretendo? Is that just Nintendo?
It is. Oh no, it's more than that. It's.
Oh.
It is related to Nintendo though. I don't know. You know about it, so you don't have to be surprised. So.
Oh yeah.
but yeah, I guess I could explain it because I guess some people don't know. It comes from an old forum. There was a guy, I don't remember his name, but there was a guy there who he got mad at people. It was a Nintendo forum. It was like a Nintendo. Yeah. They talk about Nintendo stuff, but some of the guys they were like they wanted to talk about other video games too, not just Nintendo. And one guy that did there. He did not like it. He did not like that they talk about stuff that wasn't Nintendo. He was like, "You're not real Nintendo fans."
Yeah.
And he called them Pretendos because they weren't real Nintendo fans, and that's where Pretendo came from.
Oh, that's the. I already knew that, but I just. Oh, that's the origin.
Oh shit! Yeah, that's origin, dude.
Whoa! That's good. That's a really good origin. You ever like take a tour and see like really old forum posts from like the late 90s about like debates on gaming? Isn't it hilarious?
Yeah, it's great.
You see people arguing about like Sega Saturn and how it's gonna prevail, and it's awesome.
I especially like the like PlayStation versus N64.
Oh yeah. Oh, thing. those are golden.
Oh, when they talk about fucking Dreamcast and everyone was shitting on Sega. Like, oh, Dreamcast, more like fucking the dead company. Like,
dude, I love the names they make for them. Like like Nintendo 64, just all that stuff is just.
Oh, they did that shit. Yeah, that's right.
Oh yeah,
Gay
they did,
station.
Like it was like the phony gay station and stuff. Like.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that kind of. It's always just, like hilarious to go back.
Yeah.
You wonder what they're doing now. Like, how do they feel now? Do you think they've do you think they still keep up with games or?
I don't know.
Because I think to myself, like, am I gonna, like, I'm crazy into games right now, like all you are watching the Greasy Gaming podcast, but I wonder if within like 20 years from now, when I have a life, because I don't.
Yeah.
Am I gonna give a shit about the console wars? Like, am I really gonna?
Yeah, I feel like console war is still a thing. It's just that.
Yeah, it is.
It's just that it's not as big anymore. Like, pretty much everyone agreed that fucking Xbox One is a like piece of fucking waste of space. I
think a lot of it has to do with just how almost like vastly different the consoles were before. I feel like when you get a console, well, maybe Nintendo excluded, but like, but I feel like around around the age of like the PlayStation, Nintendo, and like Sega, like when you got a console, like it's just a completely different thing. Like the types of games you had and stuff. I feel like they were, you know, and I think that's why Nintendo had like, oh, it's all for kids, and PlayStation's it's all for boys and all that, or like men.
That's right.
Yeah, I play
fucking Dom. I don't know.
Oh,
that's Gears of War.
Yeah, all aboard the culture. I know that.
Oh, the culture. I don't know if fucking. What is his name? Fucking Bender. What is his name?
Oh,
that's not the voice actor. Or whatever.
Do you mean the voice actor's name?
John. What the fuck is it?
John. It's got like an Italian name. DiMaggio. It's an Italian name. Yeah. Yeah, I think it is.
DiMaggio. Yeah.
Yeah, that's him. He's a good voice actor. He does a lot of great stuff.
He is. Yeah, he's good.
I was gonna segue that into, Gears of War is garbage.
Fucking Gears of War. Throw it in the dirt.
I played a year ago. I played through the first 3 games and and maybe and this is what I'm trying to do is bring it to the subject of essentially like good lengths for games, because when I played them, when I played the Gears of War games, it was kind of, they didn't take too long, and they were just kind of like I think I might have beat like 3 of them with a friend co-op within the span of a day or 2, maybe.
Yeah, they're not long at all.
No, so this kind of, I'm curious, what are your thoughts on like, to you, what's like a perfect game length? What do you think sort of like is like, oh, this is a good game length?
It's kind of hard to say. Like, I guess it depends really on the game, because I realized that for a long time I was like, a good length of a game is when you're satisfied when you're done. It doesn't matter how long it is. Like,
right. I totally get. But the thing is, on the opposite end of that, I think that most people go,
when I paid $60 for this game, I expect at least 60 hours of fun.
100%. But yeah, for the perfect length of like game, I personally think that it's, for me, it's around like 20 hours, maybe a little, maybe less. I do think that I get exhausted with games pretty easily when they start to hit that 40-50 hour mark. Most people aren't like that though. Like, I think most people they want that like 60-hour experience, or else it's not worth it.
Because I mean, those games are like, they play like fucking Fallout 3, and it's like, oh, we're doing these garbage quests. They're not fun at all to do, but
right.
They're there. It's content.
I even felt like that was the kind of case in Breath of the Wild. You're right. Like a lot when I played Breath of the Wild, I mean, if you really boiled down the content that you give a shit about, I mean, how much is it really? Like 25 hours, 20?
Yeah, for me, I mean, I would say for me it was more than that, because I would say Breath of the Wild is like one of those unique games because you actually have fun just exploring the game.
Yes, that's true.
Which you don't usually have in like fucking Fallout or Elder Scrolls. To an extent you have like, oh, this cave here.
Yeah.
And then you realize that every cave has like, it has like this.
It's like the same shrine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was more referring to what you said about the quests, because I thought of the quests in Breath of the Wild, and it was like, this painting, or you have to go deliver this. I don't know. I feel like a lot of the side quests in Breath of the Wild were just nothing. They were kind of just on the path of while I was doing things.
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of weird because I don't remember much of the quests, which should really tell you like.
Well, yeah, it does, because what happens is you find a new area. Oh, cool, a new town. And you see a bunch of exclamation marks. So what do? You fucking mash A, and you gather up all the quests, and then you go do the main stuff, and you just hope that along the way you're knocking off these side quests. And then once you're done that area, you think, okay, I've got 7 more quests to do. Like, do I want to finish them, or do I want to go on to the next area? Yeah. And that was the same with like the Goron City and stuff. I think that's the thing with games, is that I don't like that stuff. I think that's just like filler, and I think it's deceiving for the length of the game, and that's kind of why I wonder how much you could really boil Breath of the Wild down to, because
yeah, it's hard because I spent like 400 hours in that game.
Really? I didn't know that.
I did so much in that game. I played it until I was like, all right, I'm done.
No kidding, eh?
Yeah, and that was like around 400 hours.
Honestly, I want to quickly check how many hours I actually put into that game, because I can tell right here. I think it was like 90 to 100, which is like a lot, right? Like that's a lot of content. I'm not kind of giving Breath of the Wild a hard time, but I think it is. I think that's a good game to kind of use this as an example, because I had so much fun with that game. But I also wonder for the perfect length of games, because I love games that are 8 hours. I love games that are sometimes I'll play a game for an hour and I'll be completed with it. I'm like, oh, that was great, like, that was fun, and I don't hold it against it.
Yeah, that's the thing, because I can most NES games are like that. Yeah,
for sure, and maybe price is the biggest thing for people.
Yeah, I guess.
But maybe not. I wonder though, because
I mean, I think it's so stupid to go like, oh, this game costs $10. It better be at least 10 hours long. It's it's kind of like it's not a good mindset to have. I think
it's not.
You can fucking buy. Now this is just an example, but you can buy like Castlevania 1, and it's like you're having a fucking excellent time, and you play it for like an hour, and you're like, fuck, that was amazing, and then you're satisfied. They're like. You're still satisfied. It's like $60. Yeah, but I'm gonna play this again. This was fucking good. Like,
for sure, 100%. Like the amount of hours I've put into Resident Evil 4. Like, the main game itself isn't that long. Like, you could clear it in one sitting if you really tried. Yeah, it's not that long. But man, oh man, I don't even think about how much I paid for it when I got it. I just think of how much fun I had, and then you know. But I do think that a lot of people, I mean, to a certain, let's think though, if you pay $50 and then you get a game the length of Limbo, for example, you might be wait, hang on a second here.
So,
I think
it's true.
That though is a little bit more like sinister though on developers for doing that.
I guess it depends, because if would you react like that if like we're like, fuck, this game is amazing? I don't know.
I do wonder about that, because I think there's a line. I think there might be, and it's somewhere in that realm of like, it's hard to say. This is kind of what I'm curious about, is at what point do I think to myself, okay, I paid this much money for a game, but I got 30 minutes of enjoyment from it. Like, does it matter? Like, I like to say like, no, it doesn't matter, but I know in the back of my head I do think of it. I'm like, oh fuck, I paid a lot and I'm done with it within 20 minutes. I mean, 20 minutes is a bad example, but no, I think that, but I think that some people are too strong one way or the other. I think that most people, if a campaign isn't 40 hours and it just like 35, 40 hours and it's just released, they kind of feel ripped off. And I just don't really agree with that. I just think that like, some games to me that are just arcade games that are just a couple levels repeated, you pay $30 for, and I'm totally satisfied with that. Like Rez, I remember buying Rez Infinite for like $30 for VR, and that game you beat in like one sitting in like an hour and a half maybe. And Steam reviews were people saying the game's not long enough, like for 30 minutes. I've already played that game through a couple times. It's fun. It's a fun rhythm kind of game.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it makes you wonder.
I just thought of something.
Okay.
it could be because we're like, when we play a game, we're not like, oh, I guess I can play a game for a bit, just waste time. I feel like most people, like, when we play a game, we're usually like, oh, I wonder what this game will be like. I'm looking for this, like, I want this, like, great experience when I play a game. And I think you feel the same. You're not you're not there just to waste time.
I see you're going with this. You're not. Yes, people that are kind of viewing gaming more as like recreational, like the average Joe that walks into Walmart and buys a PS4 bundle, and then they get a copy of Uncharted 4. They're gonna want like a time waster. It essentially becomes a transaction. How much money are they getting for how much kind of how long is this gonna last them? I think I agree. Yeah, that's a good. That makes sense. I think that mindset of like when I play a game, that's why I kind of just like look for games that interest me rather than thinking, because the thing is there's so many games out there. Like,
yeah.
Here's the thing, guys. Like, if you're really concerned with your dollars to the amount of length you play, like there are so many games you've never played that like how many games I own that I've never touched. Like, the amount of hours that I would have to spend to beat every one of these games is just, it's like impossible. I have to be selective about that. So like, if you're really concerned with the amount of money you're spending, man, there's so many games that you could probably buy on good old games, like a PC game. You probably get 60 hours in this $2 game, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it should be just about like watching a movie, kind of just like the experience of it. Like, not so much. Like, I don't know, I don't think that when you go into a movie, you're too concerned with the price you paid versus how long it is. You know, you don't go, wait, that movie was only an hour and 10 minutes and I paid $15 for a ticket? That doesn't make sense. You don't really think that. You're just kind of like, how was that movie? And I think that's how, I know people that, like, you're like that. I'm like that with games. How is this game?
Yeah.
So I think it doesn't really matter too much. But personally, if I was to think of a game and it's a campaign or it's a single player kind of just like start to finish with a story, I personally prefer around 20 hours or so. I think they can get exhausting after that.
Yeah, I agree. I think, I don't know, you feel it yourself when it's like, alright, I'm starting to like, I kind of want to finish this. And I feel like games should... With Breath of the Wild, that was never a problem, because you're like, okay,
no, it wasn't.
I'm starting to get like, okay, I feel like I'm almost done with this. Let's go and do the last area.
Yeah.
And you could do that. Like, it was fine. But most games, you have to play until the end. And when games are too long, fucking Okami, good example.
I haven't played that.
I haven't played it, but that game ends like 3 times.
Really?
The first time you're like, oh, now the game is okay. Oh, the game is over. It's like, it's not.
I hate that feeling. I hate
Alright,
that.
10 more hours, and it's like, now it ends. No, 10 more hours. It's like,
yeah, that's rough. Yeah. Even movies do that. Like, you'll be like, oh, now the movie's over. Oh, it's not. Okay, I guess there's another hour to this movie. So yeah, they do that. Yeah, that's not good.
I'm exaggerating, of course. Okami, it's not that long like Okami, but
I assumed Okami wasn't a 100-hour game, but I do think that a lot of the times with these games, you think of how much work goes into a game. Can there really be like 100 hours of just constant narrative and like deep content with, like, can they really do that like reasonably? I don't, like, that's where I think a lot of this filler comes from. Like when I played Mass Effect 1, I couldn't finish it because I'm the kind of person that, like, I don't shy away from like the side quests. I don't shy away from all the extra little bits. I like to kind of take it all. But then I also get bored of stuff if they don't keep my attention. So Mass Effect, to me, the side quests were just awful. Like,
yeah.
You start repeating the same areas, and all the quests just kind of feel like they're the same thing, and then you end up just thinking, okay, am I gonna... When you play a game, like, if you ever ask yourself before you play a game if you're gonna do the side quests or not, I think that's a sign of, like, a game that wasn't really designed perfectly in that manner.
Yeah, I feel like that's a problem with a game. If you feel like the game has like 2 parts to it. Like,
yes, yeah.
Now it's the side questing time. Now it's time to do the main story. I feel like that's a really, it's hard. I guess it's it's just hard being a game developer to come up with like
for sure
stuff to do. But I feel
that's
like
what I mean though.
Like, I feel like a good example of that now I'm actually fucking talking about something I would do for a video a long time ago, but I never did.
Okay.
Where I compared the first Legend of Zelda to A Link to the Past. Well, like,
oh yeah,
A Link to the Past is like the perfect example of a game where it's like there's a main story, but there's a sides thing to it as well, which is the exploring part. Because A Link to the Past, you don't explore; you just go to the next dungeon. You're like,
no, you don't. You don't.
You know where to go because everything is marked out on the map. But on the
there's like an order to go about things. I noticed that from when I played on stream that I didn't really have freedom to go where I kind of wanted. In a sense, it was kind of like,
yeah, you knew where to go. You're like, you just look at the map and you're like, all right, guess the number 2, the dungeon number 2 next.
Yeah.
But in the first Zelda, it's like it's very open and like finding the difference of finding a dungeon and just a secret cave. It's like there's no difference. Like a fucking dungeon 8 could be under a bush.
That's so cool.
Yeah, actually, dungeon 8 is under a bush. You have to.
Is it actually? It actually is. Yeah. Oh my god! I remember on stream I played Zelda 1 for a bit, and I just kept going because it's just like I mean, okay, you just walk around the map, you start to learn the map naturally.
Yeah.
And eventually you start noticing kind of like oddities, like the placement of these rocks and the way it's kind of shaped. Like you want to investigate, and then bam, you just found a dungeon. It's a mandatory dungeon. You feel so accomplished with yourself. Like you feel like you earned it. Like and the thing and all that you earned is the ability to have more fun because now you're just gonna go do this dungeon. It's like it's such good design.
Yeah, because like and during the time you were looking for that dungeon, you already found like maybe a piece of heart. Maybe you found a store that sells the blue ring or whatever.
Yeah.
On the way to the next dungeon, you just find like a bunch of stuff. You know, and it's not like it's time for side questing. You just find it, and
it makes me wonder about Breath of the Wild. Like, would it have benefited from actually removing the markers of where the main story quests would be?
Yes, that and remove the cutscenes.
Like if they just took that out, if they just took like on your map when you press the button and then the markers appear, if they were just gone, like I wonder, like man, the game would have.
And I know what people are gonna say. It's like, yeah, but you can't remove it from the menu. You can use. I get that was Trump,
for sure.
But but yeah, you can remove it, but it's not. The game wasn't designed around it being like
that's
that.
But even the thing is, even if it was, people would not. Like people wouldn't have it. If people started playing Breath of the Wild, I don't think they would have been happy. The majority of people, they would have been happy if there was no direction of what to do next.
Yeah.
Like with no multiplayer. Like without multiplayer, just being thrown into this world with literal no sense of direction except just go save the world, go to the castle. If you think you're ready, then go do it. If you're not, then don't. I think most people would have been like, I don't know. Like I don't think they would have really.
Because people, I guess that's what they knew about that. Open world games are time wasters, and they had to do that. I feel like.
Yeah, they streamline it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Honestly, I would have loved thinking back on how I played Breath of the Wild. Like, you force yourself not to go to the main areas. Everyone does that. Most people, they go, okay, I don't want to go to that thing yet because there's so much to explore. Wouldn't it have been cool if you didn't even have that thought of, I don't want to go to this area yet because I know that's where the main story thing is.
Yeah.
But instead, it's just, you might stumble across that.
Yeah. That was,
you play the game.
That would be fucking cool. That was one of the things that were kind of... It didn't bother me, but when I went to the fucking... What are they called? The bird people area.
Yes.
The Ritos or whatever. When I went to their area, there's like a cutscene, and it's like, ooh, look at the fucking the flying thing, the flying machine. Yeah. It's like, I see it already, isn't it?
Exactly.
Like, I thought it was so much cooler that you could see it in the distance, and it's like, go over there and look at it. That could have been the perfect first dungeon.
When I was like playing for the first time, I was playing and I was talking to Jayhez alongside while we were both playing at the same time. And I said to him, I'm like, do you see that in the sky? And he said, yeah, that's like, what is it? It's crazy. And then you're right, it's totally ruined because it's just like, oh no, this is what it is in the cutscene. And it's just...
Yeah. it's more mysterious when it's just like there's no cutscene. And you go to the Rito village and they're like, oh yeah, it's the flying beast, and it's like, oh, and then they tell you about it. That would have been so much more interesting if they did that.
For sure.
Like, and it's just a small thing. It didn't bother me when they did the cutscene, but I was like, they didn't really need to do that.
It's like a missed opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think that's the thing about Breath of the Wild, is that there were a lot of like missed opportunities. But I don't think most are most are agreed upon. You think of like people talk about the dungeons all looking the exact same, and
yeah, the dungeons were kind of awful, actually.
Yeah, I mean,
I wouldn't say they were bad, but like in comparison to everything else, it's kind of like it's like the game. Like I can't think of a dull moment I had in that game. Like it was just nonstop. I gotta keep playing. I just gotta keep playing. But at the same time, you know when you're playing, like, oh, this would have been cooler. It doesn't mean it's like bad or anything, but it just means, you know, it would have been cooler if they didn't. And I think if they had just dropped you into that world and they said, hey, you can fight Ganon, but you're not that strong, so there are 4 things you need to get. You have to go to 4 places and get 4 gems or whatever. If you can find them, it'll make your entire journey a lot easier. Good luck, and that's it. Yeah, yeah.
That would have been so cool.
Yeah, like small things like that. That's how I feel like a lot of people would be like, they would be impatient about that. They would be like, what am I supposed to do now? I feel like,
yeah,
or I don't know. At the same time, I feel like that's how a lot of people felt with Minecraft when it first came out. A lot of people were like, what do I do? What's this? But a lot of people got used to it. So I don't know if maybe people aren't as lazy or like impatient as we think. Maybe game developers still think that we are.
What I would say to counter that would be that the thing in Minecraft is, you know, there isn't an ultimate goal. I mean, I think they added one later, like with the Ender Dragon.
They did, yeah.
Okay, but let's just talk about when it first came out and people questioned it. Like, I think that people pretty much knew, like, okay, there isn't like an end goal in sight, so it doesn't really matter. It's just there really is no objective.
Yeah, that's probably why people were interested to begin with, because like, okay, but if there's no goal, what do I do? And that interests people. They're like,
yes.
What do I do then? I guess I can try different stuff. But
in Breath,
it's like you say, yeah, I get, I know what you're getting at now.
They'd be frustrated. They'd be like, oh well, I don't know how to get there, and this bothers me, and I'm more frustrated now. And I think that's why a lot of people. I mean, when I first played Zelda, their very first Zelda, years ago, like when I was 14, 15, I was like, I just downloaded on the Wii shop. I'm like, oh, Zelda, whatever. And I'm like, what do I do? And I just got mad and I fucked off.
Yeah.
But then I started to, you know, I grew up, and then I played it, and I'm like, oh, no, I get it. I understand what they're going for here. It's just, you know, there's freedom. But again, I think the majority of people don't really want to look. You might be right. I mean, I could not be giving people enough credit. I could just be a cynical bastard.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like a lot of people are extremely lazy, though.
Yeah, I just think with kind of the climate of gaming now and just the way things are, it's so handholdy and stuff. And I think people have gotten used to that. That I think if they made Breath of the Wild with the way that we're talking about, I don't think it would have been received as well. I think that people would have been more frustrated, and you know, because there are literal waypoints, and I just don't think it belongs. I just think it's unnecessary.
Yeah, it feels weird.
You ever play Dead Space 2?
Yeah.
And then you press the right, or even the first.
Yeah, even the first game has that.
Yeah, and you just press the thumbstick, and it's so frustrating. I just wish they would have taken it out of the game.
Yeah, it just tells you where to go, and it's like, you gotta use it.
You're gonna use it.
Yeah.
and you know it's there, and you don't want to use it.
Because it's interesting in that game, because that's not an open world game either. Which means that they were fucking lazy with the game design. Or
Totally.
just level design. Because they're like, oh, we can do anything now. Just put a fucking thing, people know where to go. Good luck.
Waypoint.
Fucking.
It's 100%, and I was compared it to RE4. I'm like, well, it's the same fucking game, but why does one need a waypoint, the other one doesn't? I never was I like, where do I go in Resident Evil 4? Hell, I wasn't even like that in Dead Space. But then again, that could have just been because the waypoint was there. I could have just used it and then remembered, like, oh yeah, here it is. Because I think that it is so easy to just, it's handholdy, and I think that's just a lot. Skyrim just fucking, oh my god.
Yeah.
I just...
You know what's funny about Skyrim too is that you can fast travel, but they have points. They have fucking travel points in the game. They have track point like outside of cities. So like, oh, you want to travel to this city? You pay me 10 gold, and I can take you there. It's like, why don't you just use that for the rest of the game? That would make it so much fucking. You would explore. I didn't
even know that was like a thing.
No, yeah, that's a thing, and it's weird that they have both. Because they have that in Morrowind. In Morrowind, it's nice because it's like you can only travel on these like weird. I don't remember what they're called. These huge fucking.
Oh, those bug things.
Yeah. You can only travel on those.
So like in the means of the game, like kind of in the world, like the method of traveling is like actually a part of the universe.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so cool. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, and you have to pay money for it. But it takes you to the place instantly, and that's so cool. I didn't even know that was in Morrowind or Skyrim. Oh no, in Morrowind I knew. Well, I kind of knew about it, but it's good game design. No, I never really played Morrowind. I just know that there were giant bug things in it. Yeah.
But the idea of that, when you really think about it, is fascinating because that is just like the perfect way of incorporating long distance travel to remove the element. Because you think in real life, oh, take a bus. Take a car, you commute, you know what I mean? And the thing is, it would just get away that element of, because fast travel it's a terrible game design. I mean, it's
it is. It's just like the only thing fast travel is the developers being like, oh, what should we do? It will take so long. Just make players do. Just let them go anywhere. Let them travel 100%. Anywhere. It's just like a lazy way to just be like. Yeah. And you know, with games that are huge like fucking Skyrim and Breath of the Wild, it's like, of course, there's gonna be hard ways to like fix that problem. Except they did it in Morrowind. They already had travel, and you can't travel anywhere. It's just like certain. You can only like go
like real life. Like real life, when you get on a bus, and where does it take you? One or two places. It goes there or goes back. That's so cool.
It's cool because then you're like, okay, I'm gonna take the fucking the walking bug thing over to this city, and then I have to walk a couple of I don't know. I used to walk a couple of kilometers or whatever.
Yeah. Me? You should relate to Canadian, like.
No, I'm just saying what it is in Morrowind, like.
Oh, in Morrowind.
Fucking kilometers.
Is that probably paces or something.
Paces,
like, 10,000 paces east or something. Yeah. No, but like, I was gonna say something. Oh yeah, the same thing. Okay, this is it's such a good example you gave because I thought about my playthrough that I started of Fallout New Vegas, which is a fantastic game, by the way. Absolutely great. And see, this was a thing in Fallout 1 and 2. There was this method of fast traveling where you would open up your map when you leave the city or leave the part of your town you're in Fallout 1 and 2, and you would click on a destination and your character would slowly start walking towards that area on the map.
Oh.
And as that's happening, time is passing very fast within the game's kind of limits. So for example, there are objectives like in the first game you have to get the water chip back to your vault, right? You're trying to save the vault.
Yeah.
So while you're traveling, like you're losing your time. You're using your time limit up. So days are going by as you're traveling across this country. So there is this sense of like, even when you fast travel, essentially because I mean, you think of a game that old, they can't have the map that they want to have and within the limitations of the hardware. So they had to compensate, and that's what they did. They had a big map, they had a bunch of cities and locations all scattered around, and when you want to go across the map, your character would begin traveling, and it would just eat up this time limit of like, hey, you have like days are passing, and it's such good design. And then you play the new Fallouts, and what happens? Like you just click and you're there, and it just totally kills your sense of like role playing, which is essentially what the games are supposed to be. It's supposed to be this role playing game, but in New Vegas, which has very good role playing elements, fast traveling just seems broken and not fun. Like just.
No.
It doesn't make any sense. Like, you just... Sure, time's passing, but it doesn't really mean anything. Like, there's no real hindrance. Like, a couple days go by, but it doesn't really have the same impact. It's just kind of lazy.
It is lazy. It's weird, because it's
it's like it takes you out of the game, because it's like, oh, like... I'm immersion, I mean, it's kind of like... You care, you don't really care. I think in role-playing games it's pretty important.
Yeah, oh my god, yeah, if you're role-playing, you don't want it to, like, break that, like, immersion then.
100%. That's why when I play Fallout New Vegas, when I started it, it said, do you want to start in hardcore? And I'm like, well, what's hardcore mode? Well, you require sleep and water. And you need to drink a lot, you need to sleep a lot, you need to eat. I'm like, wow, that sounds amazing. Like, yeah, sign me up.
Yeah.
And then you just fucking fast travel. It doesn't even make any sense.
Yeah.
You just click and oh, it's whatever. I mean, you take some more water, you get more dehydrated, and you know, but the element of like what you just said there about like hiring someone to bring you that distance, like paying them, that would have fit so well in New Vegas. I'm surprised it wasn't like a thing. It should have been.
Yeah, that's what weirds me out so much about Skyrim did it, because they have both fast traveling and that other system. Both of them. What's the point?
Yeah, I think it's they maybe thought it was to please both audiences. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. To me, it's just that's a shame, because when I would love to in Skyrim, if I was to play it for like seriously, I would do that. I know role playing Skyrim sounds like kind of a meme because but. I would love to have done that. To like, oh yeah, take me to River Run or whatever. I need to go there. How much does it cost me? 5 gold? Fuck, that'll walk myself. You know what I mean? That would have been cool.
Yeah.
Instead, no, just click.
You can do it. Yeah, and also, again, this is not one of those things where it's like, don't use it then. Where it's like,
yeah.
They designed the game around being like fucking a fast travel. The fast travel system is like they have that in mind when they make the game. So when they like make a dungeon or whatever, or like a town or whatever, they're like, oh well, people can just fast travel to it, so it's fine. We don't have to think about they think like that because they know that people will fast travel.
Now I'll play the opposite side here, and now let's say, I'm curious what you think about this.
Yeah.
What about the argument of let's say there is no element of transportation that would kind of essentially solve every problem with fast travel, and because it just solves every problem.
Yeah.
Let's say that's not an element in the game. Let's say it's either walking or fast travel. Well, if it's just walking, I mean, if you've already seen everything, wouldn't that start to get boring? Wouldn't you not want to do that?
That's why it's so. That's why I said it's hard to fix that problem for developers, because like, fast traveling is a good way for people to not get fucking bored of just walking.
Yeah.
It's like, that's why I felt like, because just walking would be boring.
Right.
Yeah.
Because if you've seen things already, then you've fought the enemies already, you don't need to grind, and yeah, it is boring.
Yeah. That's why that's why I thought that system was so good with the...
yeah, unfortunately your system just fixes every issue, because...
Yeah.
Like, well, not your system, you didn't do anything. But no.
I made it. I worked on Morrowind.
I made this, yeah. No.
Yeah.
But no, that's such a good idea. I wish more games utilize that, because it's perfect. It gets rid of that element of... Because it's like in real life, you don't want to walk everywhere. You take a car, you bus, train, plane. Well, just put that in the game. Just make it so you pay, and then
just put more travel, like put more of those, like have every like town have one of those, like that would be fine. If you can use them to travel to another town, that would make sense. And you're like, oh, I want to get to that town. Okay, I take the fucking ride over there.
I can't think of any negative to putting that in a game. Like I only see benefits.
Yeah.
That it gets rid of the issue of wasting your time wandering. It gets rid of a fast travel system, which is essentially the complete opposite of wasting time, which is it's a broken mechanic in the game. And all it does is add more richness to the world when you think that there's actually, like, you know, people's jobs is to travel people, like, get on a carriage, like, that would happen. It's fantastic, and it makes me wonder why more games haven't utilized it.
Yeah, I've been thinking about that for a while, just that system in Morrowind.
It's so good.
I
feel like if I was to make an open world, be a part of it, like, that would be just, like, numero uno, like, just put that in the game.
Absolutely, yeah.
I wonder if there are games that we don't know that have it, though. I wonder, because, I mean...
It's true. There might actually be some games that use that.
Because I can only think of games that have fast travel, like Far Cry and stuff, and it's just, like, click on the tower and go. It's just stupid.
Yeah.
But, I mean, sometimes they put, like Ocarina of Time. I mean, you got your horse, you go faster, like, you know, I mean, as much as I'm not a huge fan of Ocarina of Time, like, imagine putting fast travel in it.
Yeah.
Like...
Actually, you do have that.
No, kind of, you're right. Well, it's still part of the world, though.
Yeah, it is. And also, you get them later. In the you get songs you can fast travel with.
I guess it's kind of cheap, but I feel like it deserves a little bit of a pass, especially since it was that early on.
Yeah, but also the world is not very big, and also you get them when you find a dungeon. When you've explored enough and find a dungeon, that's when you get the song.
Yeah.
It's always at the beginning of a dungeon that you get it.
Ah.
Yeah.
Huh.
So it's like, is it a bad thing then? Because then you're already at the dungeon. So it's like...
Yeah, it's... yeah, somewhat.
So I guess it gets...
It's hard to say. It really is, like...
Yeah.
I think, like I said, I think it's kind of clever because... I mean... it's like a method that kind of works with the world. Like, oh, you've got this time-traveling ocarina. You play a song that lets you teleport, whatever. It doesn't really, you know, it doesn't stand out too much. But when there's simply just a thing where you can click a button on your map and it says fast travel to this location, I don't, like, and not that that's a bad thing, but when you're playing a role-playing game, like a real, like, that to me, it's bad design.
Bad game design.
Huh? Sorry, I'm doing
doing a meme.
Doing a DSP meme.
Huh? Does he do that?
Oh man. DSP?
Yeah. Huh?
Oh yeah. He sit there and he'll be driving a car in GTA with just like a disgusting look on his face, and then he'll crash and go, huh? What? Okay, game. Alright, dude. Sure, whatever you say. Come on, I was doing the thing! This game's garbage, dude.
This game sucks. I love that.
Yeah. I was like, what? He was right there! This game's fucking garbage. This game sucks, dude. He's like, I remember one time I was watching him, and he died from a shotgun. I love when he goes off on like a tangent on like a single death in something. Like one time, I remember it's like a joke now for my brothers. It's like a thing we say. He says he got killed by a shotgun, and what he was complaining about was the distance. And he says, instant kill, instant kill, and he holds his hands up, and he goes from that distance, like he's signaling how far away he was from the guy. From that distance, insanely huge far distance with a shotgun, instant kill. This game sucks. He goes, insanely huge far distance with a shotgun, instant kill.
That's great.
Oh, it's so good, dude.
DSP is funny.
Oh, I hate him, but I love him.
Yeah.
God. He's like, there's like self-aware, and then there's like DSP at the opposite end of like, he's just so, like the things he says, I could be good at games if I want to. Like,
did he say that?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
If I want to, I could be good at games. You just think, oh,
Oh, he doesn't. He just
Yeah,
just like, oh,
exactly.
I don't really care.
yeah. That's totally what he does.
Oh my
so
god,
good.
what a bad excuse. It's like,
Man, I love those kinds of people though. Like
Yeah.
they're great. All those like clowns.
all these
Like-
fucking all these clowns on fucking the internet are great.
Yeah, like low tier god and stuff like that.
Yeah,
They're all. Oh man. Greasy Goblin Gaming. Wait, was it Greasy Gaming?
Greasy Gamers. Greasy Gaming
Greasy
Podcast. Greasy Gamer Podcast.
It's time with our Greasy Gaming segment where we ask a question or something. I don't know. Who's your favorite waifu? You have one? Have you ever?
I don't know.
Do you have a waifu?
Do I have a waifu? Do I have, is this a real question?
Yeah, I'm serious. Do you have one?
Not really. I had when I was like young.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you have like a favorite like female character though in the game? Like, oh, that is the
Oh,
one
yeah,
I would.
you're not talking like a character. I'm like, oh, I love this character. I'm in love.
I just mean like maybe a character like, oh, if I could, I might.
Oh. I had when I was younger, but I don't think. Well, I do, but they're not waifus. But
No.
no, but it. Fuck.
If you
I
had
don't
to
know,
pick
actually.
one, if you had to pick one, there isn't one just off the top of your head like that one, like none.
The thing is, I could say, but it's like a character I liked when I was like 14,
Right.
and it's Louise from. What is that? What is the show called? I don't forgot, but it's an anime.
I don't.
It's just some tsundere, like fucking garbage.
From Resident Evil 4,
There's a Louise in that.
Lewis.
Oh, Lewis! Shit, yeah.
You gotta smoke.
Because fuck yeah, it's a good character.
Maybe you pull an image on of who that girl is. I don't know who that is.
Oh yeah, you don't know. It's like fucking anime Hermione, pretty much.
Oh, okay.
It's
I thought you were gonna
just
say
like- she's like a
Sakura,
witch.
Sakura or something.
No, that's
They're
gay.
good.
That's dumb. But yeah.
Mine was definitely Chie for a while.
Oh yeah. Wait. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah,
Alright.
for Persona 4, definitely. She's like the best Persona girl for me.
Oh yeah.
I was like,
good.
yeah. You ever do that thing in Persona 4 where you you get greedy and you have more than one girlfriend?
That's
You do it?
exactly what I did when I played through.
That's what everyone does.
And I felt bad.
Oh, you feel because on Valentine's Day,
Yeah.
you have to tell the other girlfriends you have why you can't be with them.
Yeah, exactly. That's why.
Because you pick your it's funny because you get greedy.
Yeah.
But in reality, there is one that you know is your favorite. Mine was shit, and I had to tell Yukiko and what's her name? Rise?
He's okay.
Yeah, I had to tell them like, I'm sorry, I'm gonna be busy. I gotta do schoolwork or something.
Oh man,
It's so awkward.
I remember Yukiko was like, "Oh, I can't do it." It's like, why you can't even tell your girlfriend why you don't want to?
Yeah.
And I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh no."
Yeah, she took it hard. I remember that.
Yeah.
She's like, you can't even spend Valentine's Day with your girlfriend. I was like, oh fuck.
It's true. No, I think with Persona 4, fuck. What's she called? I forgot what she's called. The guy girl.
Oh, did you play Golden then?
No, that's
Oh, no, wait.
that's fuck. What is her name? That's like Marie or whatever.
Yeah. Okay, so you're talking about
I'm talking about the girl that was a guy, but not really.
The detective.
yeah.
I see.
She was the girl I dated in that game.
I see. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, because I thought she was interesting. I guess that's what. Did you know, by the way, that Yosuke? Is that the main like sidekick dude?
Josuke in JoJo?
No, I'm not.
I did a thing. JoJo reference. First episode.
Alright.
I have a JoJo reference.
Oh, sweet.
I don't know who that is.
Oh, fuck. No, that's the side. Is his name that? No, Yusuke is fucking Persona 5.
Yusuke?
Yeah, that's Persona 5. What is the guy in fucking... Wait, hold on. Yusuke...
Are you talking about just...
Yusuke is the fucking... the painter guy in Persona 5. But Yosuke... Yosuke...
Oh, you're right!
Yosuke Hanamura is the side...
Yosuke is Junes. He's a Junes guy.
Yeah. He's like the bro character.
Oh, so Yusuke... Alright. I understand now. Yeah. So you talking about Yosuke?
Yeah, he was supposed to be like the male date, the guy you could like date. It was like the gay guy. Yeah. But
what happened?
But they removed that.
What? Why?
I don't know why. It's weird.
That's.
It's also weird that was the choice and not Kanji.
Yeah, but I think like.
Because he's so like the one who's most ambiguous about just being gay or not.
Yeah, you're totally right. I think. Yeah, for sure. That's why I didn't know that. Why'd they take it out?
I know.
Japan, what are you doing, huh?
Yeah, the weird thing about it that they removed because Persona 4 had like they had the whole gay thing with Kanji, like him not being sure about his sexuality because he has a feminine side.
Yeah.
And they had like the girl, I don't remember her name. I feel bad for not knowing her name. Naoto. That's her name.
No.
And her being like kind of transgender, not really. She just wanted to be a guy because she would be accepted.
Yeah, she's
more.
like a tomboy kind of.
Hey, she was a tomboy, yeah. And
she wanted to be like taken seriously.
Yeah, and then in Persona 5 they had no characters like that at all. It's like it's like they dropped it because they didn't like. I don't know.
I guess you're right. Well, I wonder why. That is strange, isn't it? I mean, even like Teddy, the character was kind of like. Like, do you remember like the male Teddy was like pretty like
yeah, that's true.
They were just kind of like on the fence and everything. The way they act. I mean, I know they weren't like a human, but they kind of like. There's still that element of like unsurety for things, right? Like you don't really know. You don't really know where they stand, and I think that was cool in that game. And
absolutely.
Yeah, you're right. That wasn't an element in 5. Everyone is straight. Everyone's good.
Everyone is good. Oh, I get it. Everyone is
no.
Everyone is fucking.
So is this yeah, that's right, guys. Just so you know, this is a Greasy Gaming podcast. It's a Christian podcast.
Yeah, it's a Christian podcast. We talk about fucking Gregorian chants. Aren't they cool?
Gregorian what?
Gregorian chants. Like
I
fucking.
don't know what that is. Oh yeah. Oh, this is so good.
Yeah.
Oh,
man. I actually like Gregorian chants. I think they're cool. I think it sounds cool.
Yeah, they do. I totally agree.
Yeah.
It's like you know what? Speaking
when
of
games
things,
fucking have that. When games have Gregorian chants, it's like like a background sound, like when you're in like
I totally agree, but you know what I like more than that is the harpsichord. I'm a sucker for harpsichord.
What is that?
The instrument. It's like I'm trying to think of a game with a song that has a harpsichord in it. It's like it's a piano, but it's with like guitar strings in a way, kind of like.
Oh, okay. I think if I hear it, I would know what it is. Oh, that sounds fucking great.
Yeah.
Oh, now I remember.
It's in Castlevania games. It's in whenever I hear. Oh, it's in Kingsfield. It's in Kingsfield 4.
Oh, really? Fuck! I need to play Kingsfield 4.
What track? Anyway, it's in Kingsfield 4, and it's just there's something that when I hear harpsichord in games, I freak out. I'm like, yes! I don't know. I love it.
Oh, that's cool.
Because it's always used for dark gothic music, and it's always creepy, and it's just great. But yeah, Kingsfield 4. Ooh, it's a good one.
That's a cool. That's a cool. Yeah. Anyway, next segment. Video game music.
Oh, video game music is the next segment.
Video game music and video games. Let's go.
How about that Smash? library of tracks, dude. What was that?
Fucking 900 tracks. That's good.
Was it like 100 or?
But 100?
No, the stages were 100. The tracks were like 800.
Yeah,
oh my goodness.
Including like fucking menu themes and like victory fanfares and shit. It's like jingles and shit. It's over 900 different.
Oh, is it over 9,000?
I was gonna say. I was gonna try and do it, and I didn't. I couldn't come up with a good meme for it.
You just say over 9,000. That's the joke.
It's over 900 different things.
Oh, it's 800, so you're wrong.
Fuck. Yeah, in the original manga, it was 800, not...
What was it? Is that a thing?
Yeah, in the manga, it's over 8,000.
What, really? Why?
Yeah. They just changed it to 9,000, maybe because it sounds more than saying it's over 8,000. It's like it's over 9,000. It's like probably like
I don't know.
It sounds better.
Wait, in the Japanese version, is it also 9,000 like in the anime?
No, it's 8,000 there.
So just in the dub?
Yeah, it's just in the dub.
Fucking why?
I don't know. In the Japanese version, it's like Hachinyura. He's like I don't know exactly what it says, but it's something like that.
Let's see. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hachi.
Hachi, yeah.
That's 8.
Hachi.
Ah, I figured it out.
Oh.
You should have like a.
That's right.
Oh man.
It's anyway, video game music.
It's a lot of tracks, dude. Man, and they remastered what? 30 Castlevania things?
32, I think it was.
God, that's so. I can't wait to hear them.
And they said like our staff really likes Castlevania music. And it's like, all right, I guess we gave it Castlevania.
Is it just? I don't know if you're the same way as me, but there's something. I feel like Castlevania music is just. I always love hearing new like recreations of the songs.
Oh yeah, like, definitely.
More than like other games. It's like, oh, is this a new version of? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, that's so true. It's like really cool when you hear like, oh, are they gonna have Vampire Killer in it? Are they gonna have Wicked Child? Are they gonna have Forbidden Fort? No, that's not a song. But it's called
another Clock Tower thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Dancing Mad is a song, I think.
Oh, dude, best part of that entire Smash Brothers thing.
Yeah.
Flea Man.
Flea Man. Good. He's on Creature.
He's on Creature. Good old Flea Man.
Yeah. How do you like it in Castlevania that they always called Frankenstein's monster as the Creature?
I love it. I just like that word.
Yeah. I mean, I guess they had to. They're like, we can't just call it monster. Let's call him the Creature because.
I mean, I don't know. Like, wasn't Flea Man like Hunchback? Like, I don't think it was like a.
It was called Hunchback, and I don't know what the fuck is a Flea Man even.
I love it though. That's another case of like, keep the name Flea Man. Like, it's just.
It's funny. Yeah, but I was thinking, Castlevania songs is like, I don't know. I guess a lot because the fucking composer for Castlevania, up to Castlevania, no, she only did the first one, I think.
Are you sure?
I'm not sure. I thought she actually
didn't they? Is she working on Bloodborne?
Ooh, that's no.
Bloodborne. My bad. Bloodstained.
Bloodstained. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I think she made a song for that.
She composed Bloodlines and then Symphony of the Night, and then I guess she pretty much became the standard composer for Castlevania games, including Lament of Innocence. Lament of Innocence has a great soundtrack. Yeah, Area of Sorrow. That's cool that they got her. I feel like Bloodstained is like.
Yeah.
After seeing Castlevania and how cool all that stuff looked in that Smash trailer, I was just like, oh man. Just make another Castlevania, please.
Yeah, just make a fucking 2D classic Castlevania. You just have that stride. Just fucking whip candles. What?
Yeah, God, their designs look so good.
Yeah, Simon was so. I was thinking back. I was like, how are they gonna make that fucking 80s hair with the fucking? Yeah. How are they gonna make that work?
How are they gonna do it? And they did.
They did.
He's just like a barbarian type looking.
Yeah, and it doesn't look like a fucking he doesn't look like you know, because usually when they like in Castlevania 4 it's all like homoerotic kind of, where it's like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm a muscly man. It's like,
Oh yeah, like a Pillarman from JoJo. Kind of thing.
yeah. And now
I
they
see.
don't like. I like it's a good balance between like a muscly big guy and like still like
It
a
is.
normal human being.
100%. I mean, I actually like Richter wasn't like completely redesigned. I feel like Simon got such a good treatment. I mean, I don't get me wrong. I'm more excited about Richter being in that game personally because he's from my favorite Castlevania game. But Simon just had a great look.
Yeah, I love the fucking the circlet or the fucking head. No, it's not a headband. It's called
circle. It's a circle. Yeah, that's right.
And it's fucking. It's like that's a nice little detail. Nice little detail because it's like. It's like you wouldn't expect it on like a guy like Simon.
Yeah,
and it fits so well.
It really does. Yeah, he just looks. God, those designs were perfect. I feel like that's exactly what I'd want a Castlevania game to look like. To be quite honest with you.
Yeah, and like me and Ryan's reaction to them being in Smash was like, why don't they just use them in a new game?
You could literally pull up how we reacted to that right now and just show us.
Yeah.
Reacting, because we were genuinely like, this is all great, but stop.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's like, I think the thing I'm most happy about is being able to buy a Richter amiibo personally. I think that's really cool.
Fuck, they're gonna release that definitely.
They already confirmed it. I'm so excited for it.
Oh shit, really? Fuck.
Like just like a small Richter toy. Like fuck, I don't know. I just like that a lot.
Yeah.
It's just gonna go great on my shelf.
Oh man, yeah, that's great.
But yeah, actually, now that we're on Smash, this is a question that I was gonna ask you. I'm really curious about this.
Okay.
So this is a little more like, this kind of topic is a little more divided, definitely divided. But I was curious, what do you think about? I'll preface it and then I'll give more detail with the involvement of Nintendo or the involvement of a company with the competitive scene and essentially supporting a game. How necessary do you think it is? And do you do you think it should happen with, say, in this case, it would be Nintendo with Smash Brothers Melee? I have an example on my end, but I'd like to hear your thoughts first.
If they like, are you talking about like if they release?
Well, essentially just, you know how people are kind of vocally, they cry for a support from Nintendo to support Smash both competitively, and also, you know, like to have prize money given to fans, or to, you know, just or just for tournaments, or just to embrace the community and all that, and
so
you know,
kind of like how Capcom does it.
Yeah, that's exactly. That's a good example.
Yeah.
So,
oh fuck, it's hard. With Nintendo, I feel like they kind of understand it now. I feel like they with the Switch in general. I feel like they're starting to get what the competitive scene of like video games more.
Yeah.
They're
definitely
little by little. I feel like they're.
Do you think it's a good thing that Nintendo will have a hand in let's say running tournaments and establishing rules and having this overall kind of involvement? Do you think that that's a positive?
I don't know. Like
maybe I can give my side of.
That would be. I haven't even really thought about that.
Okay, well, maybe to kind of give an example of where I'm coming from. So I saw this post on Twitter, and it had a bunch of likes, a couple thousand likes, and essentially what it was people getting behind a tweet or a couple tweets, and this is just a common kind of theme I find with Smash Melee and a lot of games, which is that Nintendo does not, you know, support Melee. Which is true, they don't, obviously, and that they should do it, and that Melee has been a thriving community for 17 years, and that, you know, it's Nintendo's essentially their obligation to support it. So do you think, like, the obligation factor and all that?
Yeah, that's.
Do you think it's
like with I found that so fucking weird. Why would they want?
There's definitely a sense of entitlement. There's a sense of entitlement to that.
Yeah, I mean,
like
it's if it's been alive for 17 years, and it keeps going, do they need Nintendo to like?
Now you're starting to understand where I'm coming from here.
Yeah.
So what I'm getting at is I played competitive TF2 for years, and Team Fortress 2, just in case people don't know. I played competitive TF2 for a long time, and that game had no involvement from Valve, like, whatsoever. And it was a common complaint about for fans and people of Team Fortress 2 to essentially support the competitive community. But TF2, it was this game that was essentially just kind of given to players. It was like, they just made this game, they balanced the shit out of it with the classes, the 9 classes, and they just kind of went, okay, here you guys go, run your own servers, run your own mods, and that's it. They gave them just the ability to play.
Yeah. And
what happened was players started to decide their own rules for competitive modes. They made up 6s, 4s, and Highlander. Those are just modes. 6s is... I'll stick with 6s because it's easier to digest. 6s, how it works is there's 2 scouts, 2 soldiers, a demo man, and a medic. And that has been the standard since the game had came out for the format. Valve didn't endorse this. In fact, they don't like it. They never really enjoyed it. How the game is run was completely community driven. Okay. They were given this game, and it was totally decided by the players. And people still demanded Valve's involvement. And to me, that's wrong. To me, I think that it's such a good thing. Because when you think of Smash, and you think that what they're saying is that, you look at the state of Smash, did you watch the EVO finals for that game or no?
I didn't watch it, but I heard people were like, that's the best, that was like the best part of EVO. People said.
Yeah, I watched it live, and it was fascinating, and it had crazy high numbers and all that stuff, and the support was overwhelming. And to me, like, the idea that you would say that the state of this community for this 17-year-old game that's 3 console generations away still pulls these numbers, like, that's not the case with Third Strike or even Street Fighter 4.
No.
Like, Tekken 5 or 6? No way. But Melee is standing this test of time. And the idea that Nintendo is like, they need this involvement, that's ridiculous. And I think it I think it undermines all of the work that imagine if you're like a community, like you're hosting tournaments for Melee, and you've built up something like a local Melee kind of tournament that people go to. Like, you did that yourself. Like, this community has all been on its own 2 feet. Nintendo hates how they hate how Melee is. Yeah. So I'm sorry. I think that you guys are kind of... I'm not a Melee player, so I can't really say that. But I do think that as someone who plays competitively, and as someone, who understands the mindset that it comes from as the players, I think you guys are looking at this the wrong way. I think that it's so much better that you guys are kind of controlling this game the way you want to control it.
Yeah.
Because Overwatch is the complete opposite. We have no control over that game. Overwatch is just, like, they decide everything. It's all Blizzard tournaments and Blizzard rules, and it's just all Blizzard balancing. Like, in Smash, you guys, like, you took glitches and you took bugs and you made them your own, man. Unintended shit.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's
cool.
I think that's to be, like, you should be proud of that. And I don't think that you guys should be, like, clamoring for, Nintendo, please support this. Like, who cares? Fuck them. Like, keep playing Smash. Like, let them make their new Smash games if they want to make them. But, I mean...
Yeah, that's the only thing that Nintendo's involvement with the series should be, like, make a new one that's better than Melee. And maybe people will jump over to that.
That's all it should be. Like, they should be saying... keep making good games, and maybe, but like, I don't think that involvement, Nintendo, like their support is not necessary. That's what I'm getting at. It's not necessary because it hasn't been necessary for 17 years, and it's not necessary now. No. And I think that if you guys, and I for one would be pissed if, like, all of a sudden Valve started supporting TF2 competitive. Like, if they just started coming in there and saying, listen, we're going to start deciding how things are done around here. Because they have done that. There have been times that they tried to make balancing things towards the game because they didn't like how we played it. I was a demo man, main character. That was my class, and they started to change the damages and the radiuses of stuff, and it was infuriating to me that they think they could come in here after we've built something and just alter it. But that's what you guys are essentially like asking for. You don't want, fuck Nintendo, don't let them involve themselves.
Yeah.
You guys make the game you want. I mean, sure, it's cool to have some prize money from Nintendo, but realistically, the only thing Nintendo, in my opinion, ought to do is just, like you said, make just a better game and keep trying to do that.
Yeah. I feel like the only time a developer, I don't know how the scene is for Street Fighter now, or how it works, but I'm pretty sure they pay attention like to feedback and shit and what other people say.
They're quite active.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it's not a bad thing.
No.
But I think like the thing about Street Fighter 5 is it started that way. They started with total support of it.
Yeah.
And they were like from the get-go they were doing the tournaments and stuff. But like to come into Smash now and support it, I don't know. Dude.
Yeah. That's stupid. They should not.
Yeah.
Do that.
They shouldn't. Just you guys own Smash Brothers Melee. Like you guys own it. Like just stick with it.
Yeah. Absolutely. I agree.
Is it crazy that a game that old is like could you imagine if Third Strike was getting the same treatment?
Oh my god, yeah.
And would you be hoping Capcom came and started involving themselves? Like I wouldn't. No. I would just be like, let the community just kind of do what they're doing, man.
Yeah.
But again, I'm not a Smash main. I don't make money off the game, so people are probably going to tell me that, you know,
yeah,
if you actually made money, you'd probably say that. But
yeah, probably. It's funny with Smash Brothers too, because Sakurai is so fucking done with Smash Brothers. You can tell. He just don't fucking care about that franchise anymore. He's like, okay, last game. Let's put everything in it, and then I'm done.
Like, Red Eye Sakurai. Sakurai is just
yeah, fucking corpse.
It's like, stop bringing me here.
Yeah. And also, he looks like he's fucking 30 when he's like 56 or whatever.
Yeah, what's that about, dude? He's like Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, that's what a lot of fucking Japanese people is.
Yeah, it's like, oh, who's this young new developer? Oh, they've been working there for 30 years. Yeah. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, maybe Sakurai has like one of those skin diseases that make them like, because there's a thing where it's like there's like a disease. I don't know what you would call it. I have no idea what it's like a skin condition where it's like where you don't get wrinkles normally.
That sounds like I want that.
Yeah, exactly. But it's interesting because it's like the author, not the author, the mangaka. That's what it's called.
Okay.
The manga artist for JoJo. He's like he's like fucking 50 something, 55, 56, right. And he looks like he's fucking 20 something. Like, yeah,
I was gonna say I saw him and he didn't look that old. What? You told me he's like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, he's like, he's always looked like that, and people are like, oh, is he a vampire? Huh?
Oh, God.
Vampire fucking.
Oh.
JoJo.
Yeah, that's funny.
Man, but yeah, going back to Smash Bros. And Sakurai.
Yeah, I mean, because he's just he's a guy. He's just a man, right? Like,
yeah.
He's a person the same way that we are.
That's why I think he's not like, he doesn't care about Smash Brothers anymore, so he's okay with putting anything in it, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, when you really think about it, like this game does seem like a final kind of like, all right, like here, yeah, this is everything Smash. Just I'm done.
Yeah, what are they gonna do after this? Like,
I don't honestly, man. I felt the same way I did about Breath of the Wild. They'll figure it out.
They'll figure it out. Yeah.
Like I felt like that in Brawl. I remember when Brawl came out, I was like, well, there's so much. What are they gonna do? And you know, it's like there's all. I think that's a thing, but I mean, man, talking about like being Smash Ultimate. Like man, that game. I wish I liked Smash Brothers, man.
Yeah,
like
me too.
I don't mean like I like Smash.
I wish I was more into Smash Brothers than I am.
I wish Smash was my game, because that game looks unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like, it looks like man. All the small things they're doing too, like when I saw like the super meters for like that, was just like, holy crap.
Yeah.
It's such a good idea. Because Smash Balls were a joke, man, but oh yeah, I should probably clarify. I'm not used to talking out of context, or without context. They have a change in Smash Bros. Ultimate now where I think one option you can enable, I believe it's not just a mode, but it's an option you can toggle, because they had a mode where you lost all your health from 100 to 0, and then they also had the percentages. Yeah. But there's a meter under your health, which is essentially just a super meter, and you build up and your character can do their final smash attack.
Yeah, that's great.
And that's a great idea, because Smash Balls are fucking stupid.
Yeah, they are.
They get you so mad, you sit there like, oh, you just want to hit it, and it's just the dumbest thing ever.
Yeah, they also said like the meters, like the smash meters are not the smash. What did it call? Final smash. That's what they're called. Yeah. The final smashes you get from those are not as powerful as the one from the balls, and that's because those were like instant kills.
those things were. Yeah, they did instant kill. Okay, that's good. That's even better then. I didn't know that.
Makes it even better, because then it's like, all right, I get a chance to like do a lot of damage. That's it. The fact that they thought of that really does give weight to the fact that this is not just a shoehorned game. Like, they are thinking of the consequences of changes they're adding and stuff, and like. Yeah. And I think there's a ton of thought being put into this game. Like, something as simple as like all the music they have. Okay, like we have 800 tracks. It's like, okay, so then let's make a music player to go with it. Yeah. It's like, okay, and have 100 stages. Okay, well then let's make it so we have Final Destination for each one. And that's a lot of stages though. Okay, well then let's make it so there's a thing where you can play 2 at once. There really is a lot of thought behind each decision they're making. Yeah. All the stuff that's going in it, and the consequences behind each. That's why I think Mirror Fighters are such a good idea. Oh yeah, absolutely. But
like, wouldn't
the Echo Fighters?
Sorry, yeah, Echo Fighters. Wouldn't Echo Fighters be amazing in like in other fighting games? Like, imagine that. Why isn't Ken just a Ryu Echo Fighter?
Yeah, exactly. That's what he is.
It's just what he is. Like, it'd make so much more sense, and it'd be fun.
That's what he said too. Echo Fighters aren't just straight up clones either. Like, they have like small differences.
Yes, and that's even better.
Yeah.
Like,
so they're probably talking about like startup frames, or like how many hits you do when there's like. They're pretty much like talking about like, oh, they're like Ken and Ryu.
Right. Like, I would think that Dark Samus and Samus have different final smashes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that's why I think that's a good idea. And fuck, man, I like, it's like you say though. I mean, I know they're gonna improve upon it in another game, but this is just. I feel like any game after this would be a disappointment.
Yeah, like, that's how I feel too.
Yeah.
I think this is a good place to end this pilot.
This episode. This pilot episode, man.
Sorry, pilot podcast I think called Greasy Gamer.
Greasy Gaming. That was good. I think we covered a lot of topics.
Thank you for watching.
Oh shit. That's a Greasy Gamer.
Yeah, though. So if you guys like this, I don't know, just
like, comment, and subscribe.
And just watch more if we make more. Yeah. Then okay, that's all you gotta do.
Yeah, leave a little thing. What do you think?
Are we gonna have some like? Are we gonna have like outro music like a Mario 2 theme and side scrollers?
Oh,
we have some like. Oh man! All right, guys. That was good though. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.
And we are out of here.